2022 draft class and you guys, and this is sort of all you've known. Is there any way to look back on that night and think, like, what was ahead of you for the next 3 years?
Man, I would have no idea. Like, I couldn't have guessed this, like, my wildest dreams. You know, it's crazy. I got the Kansas City number. I saw it on my phone. And I'm like, oh man, I got a chance to win a Super Bowl here. But looking back on it, like, I got a chance to win like number 3 here. You know, it's such a blessing. I could never imagine.
So going back to this year, that Denver Broncos game with the block kick, and then again later on in the season with the block kick. What is it about this year maybe that stood out to you about being able to get there and get a hand on it?
I mean, it's just like in-game experiences. Like, you can try to replicate a lot of things in practice. Field goal block, like we don't get really anything in practice. Like, we get a couple steps because, you know, it's ones-on-ones a lot of time, and so it's really like over the time, where I can find weaknesses, trusting, you know, Coach Tobes and Coach Andy Hill's advice. So, you know, learning from Justin Reed too, because he's kind of a master at the get up.
So the coaches have said, and some of the players have said as well, that before those kicks, you said you were going to block it. So I don't know if that is now like an urban legend, or you know, if the legend becomes fact, print the legend. Did you go up to Tobe and Reed and those guys and say you were going to block it before both of them?
Man, I don't know, man. Sometimes I say things in the heat of the moment. I got adrenaline. Maybe I was pacing and I said that to him. I always go up to Tobe and try to convince him of certain things, but you know, sometimes I get my way, sometimes not.
Do you feel like you've grown into this spot to being somebody that this defense is now relying on?
Yeah, I mean, it's big. You know, the more I can learn to be in different positions, whether it's off ball, on the line of scrimmage, a 3-tech, a shade, you know, whatever it is, I want to help the team, and you know, a lot of it is learning like specific technique, because it's actually like it's hard to like go on the ball. It's like a different mindset to be on the ball and off the ball. So to go back and forth, you know, it's taking a little time, and I think this year is starting to click a little more.
So you got Saquon that you guys are going up against, and you guys are one of the best tackling teams in the league. You can pride yourself on that all you want, but it seems a little different when Saquon is out there trying to tackle him, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to win many games if you're not a good tackling team, and you know, Coach Spake emphasizes that. But you know, Saquon is a whole different animal, man. He's you know, generational in my opinion. So it's going to be hard, more than just doing our jobs. You know, like I said earlier, it's going to take everybody. You know, the whole cavalry. You know.
How do you guys become as good of a tackling team as you are? These are two of the best tackling teams in the league, actually, that are now playing on Sunday.
Yeah, what a coincidence.
Yeah, really interesting how that happens.
I just think it's Coach Reed, like, preparing us. Like, he does really well being a player's coach, like knowing when to pull back and knowing when to push us. He gets us in full pads. He gets us in pads, hitting each other, wrapping up, and then Coach Spags emphasizing whatever condition we're in, like whether we're wearing the spiders, the uppers, or actual full pads. He tells us to emphasize certain techniques, and I think guys really place themselves mentally in the moment and do really well.
Do you feel like there's a little bit more on your shoulders with the RPO stuff, with Jalen Hurts being such a mobile quarterback? And how much do you sort of get that by just playing Buffalo and Josh Allen being such a good runner as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because you saw, like in the Super Bowl, like we did our best to shut down the run game, and then Hurts, you know, had a clear game, an amazing game. He played really well on the biggest stage. You know, so it's not really like we obviously take from past games, but you know, Eagles are on their own team. We have to stop the run first, and you know, at the same time, we got to trust. Like, we got to see the RPOs. It's trusting our eyes.
Do you think there will ever be a year where you're not in the Super Bowl?
I mean, I have to say so eventually, but
maybe one day.
I mean,
way farther.
I'm worried on this game, man. I'm worried on this game.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.